one.
Let's go.
Streaming.
Cue the music.
We are live.
From the content creators that bring you the lowest effort content imaginable. You know, the ones that brought you info the devs don't want you to know about. The podcast you probably don't want your girlfriend to know about.
Who?
And will most likely get you banned just for talking about it. Raw, uncut, and uncensored.
We want you to sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Maybe try some mining or something. Remember not to undock anything you can't afford to lose.
Welcome to the Echoes of New Eden podcast. Let's start this bitch.
And welcome everybody to Echoes of New Eden. Another week, another show. I am Rambo, your host for today, and as always, I am. He's blessing us with his presence. Taylor, if you don't have a level 45 implant, you're a scrub. Rick. So let's do this.
Always good. That's great. I always look forward to these little nicknames that happen to me, at every show. But when that song is playing, I am so tempted to just scream, let the bodies hit the floor during that whole intro. Like one of these days, I'm just going to shock everybody and do it because it's what goes through my head every freaking intro. But at any rate, That's right. That's right. I've been pushing implants hard, not only inside of my Corp, but across the entire Fed. I've been pushing. So get ready for anybody that comes across our paths, because if they don't have a level 45, oof.
Yeah.
That's a rough fleet. We're going to have a very rough fleet very quickly.
Yeah. So,
if they don't have a level 45, they are snowflakes.
Yeah, snowflakes.
Han is a snowflake. He's a snowflake.
Yeah, we'll probably talk about that a little bit. I'm sure Daraz has the memes fired up, ready to go for when we start talking about that. But welcome, everybody. It's been a long 2 weeks, I know. We didn't have a show last week because it was Mother's Day. And for you fathers out there, your wives, you don't want that type of aggro.
No, been there, done that, not doing it again.
Not to mention to spend time with your mothers if they happen to be on this earth still. So it's been a long 2 weeks. A lot of stuff has happened. There it is, the dick in the box, guys. And Taylor, we need to come up with that song.
I wrote the lyrics.
Right.
I wrote the lyrics. I gave them to you, and I've thought about this so many times. Oh my God, the memes are just. If you are not part of the live show here on Echoes of New Eden, you are missing out on how fast these memes fly, because you're only going to see a portion of them on the recording because they're going to go by so fast. You're going to have to go back and scroll on the on-air chat, as it were, which is what we stream live over on the YouTube and we don't stream it live on YouTube. We stream it live over on Twitch, stream it live here, and then it goes up on YouTube later. So, quick plug for why you want to be here on a live show. We're at our 26 out of 50. We have a room for a few more, and then anybody else that tries to come once we hit 50, you have to go watch us over on Twitch. But anyway, all right. What was the? If Titans come in a box, I will have a GoFundMe, and I will get one. Whatever. At this point, they're going to keep doing what they're going to do. But no, we're going to make this. We're going to make this song, "Vac in a Box," Facts in a Box.
Yeah.
I've been on the road traveling, so if I'm not here in the studio, I can't really do a good quality recording for that kind of thing. But we've got the lyrics written. We'll get to it.
I almost was going to work on that project this morning, but I was doing some other stuff on some other projects. So
change. You just need an alt.
Destroyed my
period.
Make a Titan alt.
Yeah.
It's gonna take 3 years just to train it.
Yeah, you're behind. If you're trying to make a Titan alt right now, you're screwed.
Yeah.
So
I'm
guessing about 220 million skill points to be a Titan pilot. Nah, maybe a little less because
Okay.
you don't have all those fighters and everything, but it's going to be a lot.
What do Titans use?
Think about it,
for
Barrick. It's going to be a
isopods?
doomsday, right? A doomsday weapon. So and it's like the Lancer weapon. It'll be different than that. The Lancers are pretty heavy, but it'll be a little bit more than that. But I don't know. Unless they do something crazy with them, I bet you the skills will be less than that of a super, even though the cost is going to be astronomical. Just the skills wise, anyway. Not to scale.
Yeah, interesting. Oh, you're just now starting a GoFundMe, or will? I mean, I've
If it's
had
in a box,
GoFundMe for.
I don't need a
implants now
GoFundMe.
for a
Actually, I'll
while.
just hit up Durkadur.
Yeah, true.
Request a credit extension for my CC. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, earlier this week I made a joke about starting a GoFundMe because my implants aren't up to Taylor's. I would say par, but they're not up to his
Up to my standards.
level. Yeah, his standards. So I needed to start a GoFundMe as to get ISK and
Yep.
materials to upgrade my Canon implant from 12 to 30. So
12.
no comment.
12.
No, I'm joking.
My God.
It ain't 12. It's 13. But
And at this, and then as soon as you start upgrading, you'll realize, oh shit, this is experiment. This is not a standard. It stops at 20.
no. Actually, I can't even go over 20 because it's blue. So rip.
Yeah, you can
No.
just ask Achieved and Black Rock or whatever they are. It's not Black Water, isn't it? Black Rock. Yeah, it's Black Rock, isn't
Yeah,
it?
BlackRock.
We got to talk about that. What a crazy man. I mean,
Okay, what is this? Is it pretty sad that I do more work than your entire Corp does on supers? LOL. What?
I mean, I did also kind of throw out the whole if your corp doesn't have a super or a couple of supers at this point, then what are you doing? So
Yeah, ask them. I don't know. They're freaking sitting on their ass.
you're not the
So,
CEO anymore,
I've-
so it's not your fault. Now
I've
it's
been
everybody
pushing
else's
supers
fault.
since they released.
Exactly. It's everybody else's
they're
fault.
too expensive.
Yeah.
Oh, there's too many debris. Oh, I have to AI rack to get IS because they're expensive. That's all I hear. It's like, what the fuck are you guys doing? Anyway, I don't have to. It's not my problem anymore.
It's so true, Bradrick. It's so true. I could say more about that, but I don't want to actually piss Riva off. I do like Red One. I give him a lot of shit, and I give you guys a lot of crap, but I do like the guys in
See,
Red One. So
What we had prioritized, and this Riva would probably vouch for this, is we ended up investing heavily in the Corp tech, which if you look it up, we're, Glory or whatever the hell,
Sanctum. Your
so
Sanctum.
we're like the highest that you can go, and
Yeah.
we have a lot of skills 10 out of 10. So that's where a lot of the ISK is going.
yeah, and okay,
So-
you brought it up. So Riva, if you're
No.
if you're
Oh,
listening to
shit.
this, okay, Rambo brought it up, so it's fair game now on the show. Okay. You done fucked up, Ron. That's the wrong thing to have invested in first. All right, you got to get supers on grid to make the real money, and or have the real defense offense that you need in order to really go and fund that tech tree and not bankrupt yourself. Because now you've gotten yourself into a situation where we've got this nice corp tech, but we can't build a super. Whereas if you just poured all that money into the super, you would have had that, and then had the funds to go and do, you know what I mean? So anyway, that's just the way. Thank you, Doris.
It wasn't even my idea. I've been pushing supers
I'm
since
just
the
saying.
beginning.
That's my.
This is my officer team. They're like, oh well, we're gonna do this instead. I'm like, well, okay, well, have fun.
That's exactly right, Durkadur.
Anywho, there's a GoFundMe for my super as well, by the way.
www.ramboneedserioushelp.com.
For real, and actually, and this isn't at no help, because in this last week I haven't really played very much Eve Echoes. I did my DR runs like normal, But for the most part, I actually didn't play. I've logged in on my daily, did my daily stuff, but I've actually been playing other games. Mostly because I got my Xbox set up so where I could play it now. But I was actually thinking about this, and for the first time in, I don't know, months, I started up Destiny 2. And, you know, I played Destiny since it's come out. And every once in a while, I'll jump back in and try to figure out what the newest stuff is. So I'd actually came in, I downloaded the game again, started playing it, and it had this thing where it was like a chest that it gave you, and it gave you
Sorry,
updated
I was falling asleep.
armor.
What are you talking about?
Hey, I was like, what the hell was that? Anyway, what I was saying was, he's laughing hysterically right now.
Oh God!
I was wondering what you were doing.
Putting me to sleep, talking about some other fucking game.
I'll get to it. No, here's my thing though, is they give you a chest of armor which raises up your light level to standards as far as game nowadays. You know, the type of content, whatever, raid, difficulty, all that. I was like, how come Eve Echoes doesn't have something like this? You know, why? That would be an answer to a new character coming in. It's like, okay, well, we noticed that you just started out. This game is going on 4 years old. Here's like a little boost right here. Give them a 100 mil SP. Give them some tips, pointers. Hey, 100 mil SP. That I think it's generous, but it's not like
that's too much.
A super huge amount.
There needs to be, and I hate to make these kinds of comparisons because the games are similar, but they're really nothing alike. And I think too many times people fall into the trap of getting upset about Eve Echoes because they think it should be exactly like EVE Online when they really can't be. But with that said, some of the things that CCP does over there, I mean, God, at some point, NetEase had better take some notes and implement some of this stuff or they're going to have a problem. Like, for instance, the free weekends that they do sometimes where if you haven't logged in and you don't have current Omega in like 3 months or something, it's a free weekend for you. Come back in, check it out, you get an email or Discord or something from your account just to promote the older players of the game who maybe haven't been around for a while, maybe step back for a while, check out all the stuff that's new. Maybe you get some of those guys enticed to come back, maybe you won't. Maybe it's good for some of those new players to be able to maybe that weekend they can just go in from whatever tech they're at to where those techs are all unlocked for the weekend. I know they can do that. I know that that's feasible for them to do. So I don't know. There's lots of little things like that they could new haulers. Yeah. So we should actually probably talk about that too, Bradrick. But anyway, but that's an EO thing, but there are correlations. They brought out Lancers last year in EO. They brought out Lancers to Eve Echoes this year. So I can see some of that maybe happening. We'll see.
All I was saying is I think we could use a little boost for new members or new players. That's just an idea, and that's what I came across when I played Destiny for the first time in probably a year. So
yeah,
it was a unique aspect. And actually, if you look at there's a website called Active Players. Destiny in the last 30 days has had 15 million players. It's crazy. So anyway,
wow. Let's look that up and
Yeah.
see if we can find it for Echoes. I doubt we can.
No, I already tried. But EVE Online is on here. I do EVE Online. Let's see. Active players, EVE Online. I clicked onto it, so I'm waiting. Active players online in the last hour, 5,676. Active players in the last 30 days, 1.4 million.
Yeah.
EVE Online has gained in the last 30 days 18,000 users.
Yeah. They go up and
So-
down at any given time. There's probably 20, 30,000 people logged in to EVE Online. Now, this little thing that I found says, as of November 2022, EVE Echoes has an estimated few 100,000 active players and a smaller number of semi-active players. However, some say the player base is decreasing. That is from an AI overview from November 2022. 2 years ago, so that's old, but MMO stats.
Yeah. So I was taking a look at that website, and I actually did Starfield too, because I've been playing a lot of Starfield lately too. And they just had a big update as
Mhm.
well. Let's see what Starfield had. Starfield, active players 5.2 million. Has gained 148,000 players in the last 30 days. Yet again, EVE Echoes isn't even on this website.
Well, they don't
think
release
it's
the numbers. It's hard. I mean,
well, yeah. They don't release the numbers, and two, I think this is Steam only.
yeah, Steam. It's
Yeah,
easy
I
to
don't
get the
even
Steam
know if this
numbers because
is-
you can see them. You can scrape that, so that's not too bad. Yeah, another site
doesn't
here is
come-
showing about 40,000 active players from 2023. I don't know if I really buy this website though.
So this Equinox update that is happening in EVE Online, I see people in chat are posting photos of this
Yep.
new ship. Is this a hauler? It does
Yeah.
look pretty cool.
It's a hauler.
Definitely tell you it looks a lot better than a Lucent Moon. So what is this thing?
It's a new hauler that has weapons, that has like actual weapons instead of just shit. But like, it's decent. It seems like from what I'm hearing.
These are pretty cool.
Yeah.
They have like this X shape to them.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
I just
All
want
right,
a
well,
I just want a
shall we-
hauler that's a PI hauler. That's what I want.
Yeah, true.
Because PI, I remember when we first started having this conversation. This is like 2 years ago. The first time I brought this up, and I remember Benzie losing his shit over who the hell needs a PI hauler. You're insane. Once again, proving that Mr. Benzie had no idea what was going on in the game at the time, let alone where things would go. It was pretty clear to me back then that things would get to a point to where PI was going to be astronomical numbers, and it really didn't matter what kind of a hauler we had in game. It wasn't adequate. Something new had to be generated, so here we are. I mean, you can use a Sharon in high and low sec, but that's it. Like, we're talking about null sec here. That's a hard thing to use in null sec. Jump freighter's fine,
Okay,
but
so Jim, yeah, so Grandmaster Mike just posted in the on-air chat here, EVE Echoes active daily players 1.5 thousand. So 1,500. I believe it.
it feels like it's got
I
to be
believe
more
it.
than that. But I mean, if you just look at any given moment, you go look at Jita, you go look at Clairlam, and you go look at one of the other high sec islands, and you add those
Yeah,
up, and it's about 1,000.
Yeah.
So the whole rest of the entire map only has 500 in it. That doesn't sound right. There's 600
I don't
in
know.
freaking silent and nullsec. So
Yeah, true. All right. Well, shall we get to the game news and such? I know it's not too much. But as far as official news goes, on their announcements page, they have yet to post another announcement since the last time we talked about it, which was April 19th, was the last time that they did an announcement, and even then it was about the gift code giveaways. So, big whoop there. Next, we had the patch notes. I do have the patch notes up. Did you happen to have them up, Taylor? They're from 5/8, so May 8th. The biggest thing to come out of this was the Lucent Moon Force Auxiliary. So the new fax, everybody knows of it nowadays. You know, we've seen it. There's already been a lost mail of it, the first one to happen. Taylor, if you want to post that, or somebody in chat has it, the first one to go down from ORC.
yeah, I got it. I'll pull it up.
The Lucent Moon, the carrier co-designed by Capsuleers and Use Assistants, has successfully embarked on its maiden voyage. Lucent Moon has obtained special permission from Concord for operation in high-sec areas. After incorporating the design proposals from the Capsuleers, Lucent Moon will feature the following characteristics. Overloaded engine. Lucent Moon has an increased jump distance, but its fuel consumption is correspondingly higher. Energy force field shield. The fruit of Yangjung technology. Significantly boost shield strength and the effectiveness of shield repair modules. They have an onboard trajectory calculation, which increases drone slots for Lucent Moon and increased drone flight velocity. And how to get this, you draw it out of the box.
Or you build it.
It is
buildable.
You can build it, yeah.
It is buildable. Yeah, it's buildable.
There you go. There's the kill mill. This guy happened to take it into DR, Hellborn from ORC, and it was worth a whopping $394 billion. I want to say we had some chatter somewhere about it, about the insurance is higher than a CNC on this currently.
Well, it does use debris. It does use new debris that you have to get from Calvala and Ethereum Reach, I believe. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what the two places where it comes from. I don't think it drops in Cobalt. I think it just drops in Calvala and Ethereum. I could be wrong on that, but it could just be that whole wormhole space, supposed wormhole space. It really isn't, because you can just gate into Ethereum, but whatever.
Yeah.
So I don't even know what to call that whole region anymore. I can't call it Cobalt like we used to, because that's just one constellation or one region of the area. So whatever. Drone lands, I guess. I guess that's what it's called. Yeah, drone lands was what it is. But
I don't know.
It is. That's what it's called in MEOW. But yeah. Anyway, so it is buildable, but you have to get a lot of that debris. That debris is very high in the market because it's new. And that's part of where its IP comes from. I mean, again, IP costs, it's not like they set the IP costs. The IP costs are based off of estimated market values, which they've really fucked up with this every 2-week cadence of server maintenance. If you can imagine trying to take if you can imagine trying to take the estimated market value is the estimated price of what it's been sold for over weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. But if you're not averaging that every week, then it just gets out of whack. It's not even close. Yeah, I know it's old news, Daras, but it is what it is. We didn't cover it on the show yet, so.
Yeah, and everybody's take on this. This is capital that's in a identity crisis. It doesn't know what it is. Is it a fax? Is it a VAC?
Well, it's a shitty VAC apparently, because it died in a DR. So that guy had it switched over as a VAC. And it didn't survive. It couldn't kill anything.
Yeah.
Fast enough. It's not. I don't know why.
It's old news.
Yeah, I don't know why they did that.
Yeah, people have been saying that it looks like a Nidhogger that ran into a wall.
Pretty much. It's a good fax. It can be a good fax, actually. It doesn't, does it replace things? I think we've had a lot of debates about that, whether or not it replaces things. I kind of think it, from a cost standpoint, it doesn't need to, but just from a pure stats standpoint, and its drones and its flight velocity, it's faster. It's definitely faster than the Minakawa. The Minakawa is slow, and the drones are good. The drone speed, range, rep amounts, all that, it's pretty good. Not bad.
All right, so we got that out of the way. We needed to touch on that. And so far, I've only seen the one loss. I've seen a few of them get traded around, but that's about it. Now, in the same patch notes, they did have some balance updates, and check this out. Retriever increased the wow. Ore hold capacity from 24,000 to 30,000. Okay? That's on a Retriever, so okay. The Lancer Dreadnought revoked high sec pass. And get this, the Rorqual, granted high-sec pass.
Mm-hmm.
The Rorks can now mine and high-sec. Why was this even implemented?
I'm not sure what they're thinking. I have not been able to come up with a reasonable excuse for why Rorqual should suddenly be able to fly around in high sec. I don't get it.
So I did hear maybe possibly it's due to like moving them around, but I don't know. Maybe it's for trading.
Well, if there's a problem with them moving them around, then obviously there's a problem with moving around all capitals at this point, unless it's a Cyan C, which gets the luxury of going into high sec.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and hitting belts.
And they're doing that because
they're
doing that because it's kind of a ratting ship, right? And so those high sec islands and mission running and all that. But I don't understand. There's no belts there worth mining though. It doesn't. I guess the only thing that we had talked about in the last few weeks since this update that sort of made sense to me is, and this comes back to how all things go with NetEase. They know something we don't. Therefore, they do, and so when they do something, we look at it and say, "What in the ever-loving fuck are they doing? This is dumb. What the hell? We don't understand it." And 3 months later, then if we actually looked back and thought about it in hindsight, we would realize, okay, now I understand why they were doing that. That actually makes more sense now. In some cases, you wish they could have been a little more forthcoming or kind of explain things, but in some cases, there's a reason why they don't. But if they were going to do something with PvP and high sec barrack, it would be everything all of a sudden goes to high sec. War decks would be coming, all those kinds of things. But I think it has to do with the only thing that kind of even makes sort of sense is whenever Titans do get released, which right now we're kind of banking on August, or sometime August or after, then the material requirements for them are going to be through the moon, just through the freaking moon, and possibly different material. I'm assuming different materials will be needed for Titans than what we see on the map right now. Every new big thing that comes out takes new materials. The new augmented fires take new materials. The Lucent moon now takes certain new debris, right? So, and I don't know if it takes gold balls or red balls or all that new stuff there too, right? But I'm assuming Titans are going to take a shit ton of material, all kinds of material, and quite possibly there'll be something new that spawns between high sec and low sec, mining wise. Maybe a new type of belt, maybe a new condensed belt, something that makes sense for Rorqual to be in that area, right? Maybe gases, maybe moon mining, maybe a module for a Rorqual to do moon mining, but moon mining is only available in certain areas. Who knows, right? I mean, the speculation can go all day on that, but there's got to be some sort of logical reason to put a Rorqual in high sec, and as of right now, there's zero, just because they can, other than it's nice to travel now, and you can use it as a fucking hauler. So you can compress all your ore and then take it there in the Rorqual, right? I mean, that seems kind of stupid too, but whatever.
Yeah, people been using it as a hauler in the meantime anyway, so for that compressed ore.
Or a Logi.
Sure. Yeah.
Or a looter.
So, yeah, I know the patch notes are a couple weeks old, but there's just a few things to highlight in there. So, they fixed some bug issues. The latest patch notes that they had was the exchange store adjustments, where scholar points will temporarily close, and you're advised to exchange the items in time. So in case people hadn't spent their scholar points in a while, that's how you get those shuttles.
Yeah, or skins. Shuttles or skins.
Or skins, yeah. Which I don't really do anything with skins, and shuttles don't really do anything with those either. They do have some purposes, I do know, but otherwise. Didn't I just see a shuttle that was like 1.7 billion? Somebody was doing some.
Yeah, it had stuff
I
in
seen
it.
a shuttle kill recently that was absurd.
It was the Amar shuttle, a version of the shuttle, and it had. They were literally hauling like something for nanocores or implants in it or something. It was crazy.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Shuttles can hold up to 1,000 BPs.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Yeah, that's that's what you call a loot pinata.
Yeah, very much so.
So that was it for patch notes.
Oh no, there's more to
really
go
it
over.
for-
There's more to go over on the patch notes. You're missing a few things that we haven't talked about
Oh,
that are big.
okay. Well, are you talking about the May 8th patch notes where they had the actual site, or just on what they posted on 5/15? Because that's what I was reading on 5/15.
Oh.
Capsulers can continue playing. Optimizations. The insurance claim feature in Cobalt Edge is now available.
Yep. We didn't cover. Maybe I'm just looking at the wrong one. Did we cover? We didn't cover the 5.8 patch notes.
Well, yeah, I just glanced on it a little bit because of the Lucent Moon.
Right, and that's what I was talking about. There's a couple of things there we should probably cover that are big.
Okay.
First one's structures. Your DPS cap on all your structures went way up. So stripping an outpost, stripping a citadel is shields is much faster. Stripping the add-on structures is much faster because it's been increased by all add-on structures. The damage cap is increased by 200%. That's kind of that kind of changes things a little bit. I like it. I like it a lot. It speeds things up. So citadels, even level 4 or level 4 citadel, T4 citadels increase their max DPS by 50%. So even though they had a huge damage cap to begin with, that's bigger. The citadels 1 through 3, 100% adjustment, more power grid. I don't know why they gave it more power grid, unless they're going to change things to where you're going to be able to have actual like fittings.
Like add-ons, you mean, or fittings?
Well, no, they said power grid
output
adjustments, not your power output, but power grid adjustments.
Huh.
Don't even use the power grid. A power grid's like when you install shit. So I don't know. I didn't quite understand that. Maybe we've got fittings coming for citadels. So.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I figured that was a good one to point out. I mean, if they're talking about the actual power output, then that's like 110 versus 240, not 240,000, 300, and 360. Right? So that's the power grid itself, which you don't fit anything to these. So I don't. Yeah.
Yeah. Citadel resource extractors incoming.
Yeah, for PI. I mean, that would be fantastic. That'd be cool. Something. Citadel guns in the Corp Tech tree. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, can we just make gate guns and put them on our own gates? Let's go.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that suggestion got shot down
I'm sure it did.
a while ago.
I'm sure it did. There is a Keep Stars, we know the T5 Citadels, those are coming at some point. And if you look at Keep Stars and EO, they have fittings. There's a different Citadel that has fighters, right? So our frontline outpost that we have now, the new one, if you look at what that is in EO, it has fighters on it, for crying out loud. So it has its own automatic defensive stuff. So yeah.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yep. A lot
what
there.
Else you got here?
They made some changes to the structure modules for the stand-up missiles, medium missiles, large missiles. They made some changes there. They made some changes to the newts. Pretty much all of that. They removed a tech level restriction for all of those. So guess what? They can remove tech level restrictions. Remember how they've told us before they can't do that? They can now. They just did it for the all the fittings for an outpost.
Fighters.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
for
for
fighters,
fighters,
too,
too.
for some reason. And for some weird reason, they decided to rename all of the fighters from Mark 9 to Prototype. So
That may or may not have been influenced by me.
Mr. Prototype
I'm
himself.
the master of the prototype.
Yeah. Yeah, I
That's
know,
the name of
Doris.
my
It's very
gate.
different.
That's the name of my gate. It's a prototype gate. In case you didn't know. You
Yep.
probably know.
I'm trying to look over the rest of these as far as anything that's major that we can talk about. Oh, that's right. They did say in here where the Yangzheng ship debris came from. Loot crate of Waste Seeker wave graphs may contain the Yangzheng ship debris as well. So, Capital Rift Space will now only spawn in 0 sec regions. Previously had a low chance of spawning in low sec. Now, I remember people talking about this before in the last week, ever since that hit, the last week or two since that hit. And Capital Rifts had been spawning in low sec all over the place. And I'm pretty sure they still are, even though they said this in this patch. Can someone confirm that? I don't go and do those in low sec, but I know multiple alliances and corporations that make a living going and doing that in low sec, and supposedly can no longer do that. But I'm curious about that, and I wonder if that's actually, if they've actually done that and it's implemented and it's correct and they're not there anymore. That gives me some other thoughts, but I'll share that for some other time. Interesting. Maybe if somebody's in low sec right now in game, you can go and look up Kleinwells and see if you see any reds, the red swirlies in low sec. And if there's none there all of a sudden, then yeah, they're not spawning there anymore, which is fascinating to me.
Very nice, very nice. Yeah. Then I wanted to say there was something in here where they changed the red mods for Rorks and Orcas. Didn't they? They changed their material requirements. They decreased it or something. I'm trying to find it.
There was some
Structure modules.
decrease in material costs for certain modules, yeah, and there was a decrease in yeah, I already closed that out. Otherwise, I'd go back and scroll through and find it. But
Industrial module volume to 5,000, 4,000, and 1,500 M3. So people could be able to carry them rather than a ship that has to fit it, such as the Rourke.
oh yeah, the actual size, yeah.
Yeah.
So now I can pick up a beaver when it drops in my Atron 2 hauler. Cool.
Sure. Yeah. Sure.
Cool.
1,500. Yeah, you could get that in an Atron. What else?
Drink.
1,500. A probe.
Who the fuck says Atron?
A Amicus. Could probably do that. A Magity.
I need some
Can
coconut
get it.
rum in this to handle this mispronunciation on purpose. Oh my god.
Magnet. Cov op. So could probably do that.
You're
Yeah.
killing me.
So that was another change.
Wait,
too.
where's the timestamp on this? You start doing that at like 37:45. I'm gonna timestamp this for the YouTube.
Has it been that long already? Jeez,
Yes.
what did we even talk about?
I don't know.
What? All right. So yeah, that was. I mean, a lot of people have probably seen this already and experienced a lot of the changes within these patch notes anyway. So
Yeah.
going back over to the official Dead Evaco's Discord, yeah, it's nothing else too much is going on there. So big whoop. That is all I got for official news. Now we can get into the juicy stuff, the community news, stuff that's happened this last week, stuff to keep you guys up to date. Some of the stuff you probably already heard about. You see chatter about on Discords. I don't know. I see a lot of stuff. But what's the biggest story to come out of this last week, Taylor? I know there's a couple of them, but what do you think the biggest one is?
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Rambo not actually knowing what's going on and fishing for the stories from
No,
me.
no. I know you know. Taylor, I know you know all this. Don't give me that fucking shit. I know you know.
I'm just kidding. I mean, there's a lot of big things that happened in the last week, 2 weeks. I think to me though, the biggest news is what happened with MEOW and Cloud Ring.
Yes.
I think that's the biggest news, honestly.
Aside from the supers dying today, I mean, we could have made that big news. There's 3 supers died this morning already. Not to mention the ones in the last 2 weeks that have died. For those people to get fucked, but yeah, a couple of them went down this morning too. But yeah, the AOA thing and MEOW, which I had a lot of people thinking, honestly. Yeah, let's let's cover this. So, if based off of my sources that have been telling me, TCOS requested help from AOA in defending wild geese, while MEOW is also defending wild geese, but is read to AOA, or AOA is read to them. So they're still somehow working together against Trog.
And I want to be clear about this because I know so many people started throwing in, well, it's not just Trog. We see CRB there, and we see some silent guys there, and we see some bot 5 guys there, and yada, 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 yada. And I just want to be very, very clear on this. Knox and I have been extremely adamant about not getting involved in Trog things in Cloud Ring. It is Trog's doing it. They've got reasons for doing it. I fully endorse and back those reasons. They've done a fantastic job in Cloud Ring. They don't need my fucking help. They don't need Silent or Bot 5 or CRB to come in there. They don't need it. They can do it all on their own. Clearly, because MEOW just pretty much just gave up. However, every once in a while, there's going to be some silent pilots who want to just go in there with a couple of ships. I know Joda's gone in there with his Corruptor fleet, his Scepters and Cruisers a few times, which is like maybe 10, 15 guys. And I'm sorry, if 10 or 15 guys completely screw your whole entire plan to defend your area, then you were screwed to begin with. Like I don't know what else to tell you. Like if that's what tips the balance, a couple of guys and some Cruisers and Scepters and 10 guys from CRB, if that's what means your supers and your capitals can't freaking defend it, then I mean you're throwing out excuses at this point, and they're weak and they're hollow, and they're a little aggravating because we've done a lot of work on the back end to make sure it's Trog's deal. So yeah, and it's perfectly fine for those guys that have gone in there and third-partied and fucked around and picked off loot and picked off guys who are extracting or moving around. I don't care. It's fine. It's fine. That's cool. I got nothing. It's all good. But yeah, if that totally screws up your plans for defending your citadels because a few guys showed up in Cruisers and Scepters, then your plan was shit to begin with. So no, this has been a Trog thing, and yeah, MEOW pretty much said we're done. We're not going to do it anymore. They told Wild Geese to sell the systems off to somebody else and move out of there. We're done. We're not screwing around with it anymore. So they couldn't handle Trog. And then Wild Geese decided to sell those to TCOS at $0. And that's when TCOS decided to ask. Yeah, exactly. Selling what? What are you selling? Hey, we're at war here. We're losing this whole area. Would you like to buy it? What the hell? So, and now it's AOA's space. I don't know how you can say that when half of it's occupied by Trog. So now AOA has decided to get themselves involved in yet another region, for no reason whatsoever. So yeah. And to anybody's point who wants to argue that and say MEOW didn't ask for AOA's help, TCOS is in MEOW. Last I checked, they live in Fountain, like they're Compatico. They live together. And I've seen screenshots from TCOS members asking for the assistance. I was there for some of the entosis from ZRQ on those citadels that were wild geeses that are now owned by either ZRQ or one of the other AOA alphabet soup knockoff alliances inside of AOA, AOX, AOK, whatever. So it's yeah, I mean it happened, and I've seen internal strife from a few places inside of MEOW where they didn't even realize what was going on, and they were arguing with one another like, no, we're not going to have AOA take that space. Are you kidding me? And so there's yeah, it's a pretty messy situation for MEOW at this point. They just lost their ass in Cloud Ring basically, and they walked away.
I made the comment that MEOW alerted AOA, and I got flamed for it. From people within MEOW.
Because they didn't know. It's because they didn't know what was going on. MEOW told Wild Geese to sell them off. They sold them to AOA.
Yeah, it's like they don't want to be friends with AOA. They have AOA set in red, but it amazes me that I don't know. It's just such a weird. I mean, this is why we play this game, right? It's just like makes you think as to what the hell is going on right now. And I thought like I initially had it to where it made sense to me, and I was talking with my contact about it, and he's like, "Yeah, that's basically it." I'm like, "Okay." I'm like,
"Yeah."
So you didn't call AOA? No, but TCOS did. Okay, but why? Did you guys need that help? No, we don't like AOA because they killed our supers.
Yeah.
Okay, but you're so that's hilarious to me. I don't know.
Well, it comes down to the mentality, and I didn't realize the Russians were like this, but I guess it comes down to the mentality of if I can't have my cake, you can't either. Shush bad.
Well, even before all this, wasn't it speculated that they're changing their timers to +8 anyway?
They had already done that. They had already done that before they had done this next step. They had already done that.
Yeah. Oh. Listen, all I want to do is destroy AOA. That's it. We cannot have this RMT empire go much longer. They already own 9 regions. We cannot allow this to happen anymore. We have to gang up on these people and eliminate them before they take over the game.
Whose position's that?
I don't know. I was just going off there, but what do I know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of the biggest thing that's happened this last week, and
it's pretty wild.
Yeah, it is wild. It is wild to see. Curious as to what the outcome of that's going to be. Very possible AOA just gain more renters, if anything. So.
Well, I can tell you what the outcome of it's going to be, but I mean it's pretty obvious what the outcome of it's going to be. Cloud Ring is going to be Trog Space. It's already going to be. Okay, it's already going to be Trog Space. I mean, it's too late. They've taken up enough systems. They've got enough staging. It's not going to get. It's not. They're not going to get pushed out. It's not going to happen.
Yeah. Oh yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. Let's see, what else do we got here? You had. Let's see, when was the last... We didn't talk about this. No, we didn't. It's kind of another kind of side story that's happened. Is everybody knows Popescu that does a lot of trading in New Eden. He says that one of his resources got kicked out of TSC because he was saying something about it. I exposed Popescu for making ISK from Corp members and got insta-kicked. Amazing. So that was another just small thing that came across our desk. Now, what is this?
I haven't seen any more news about that. I know he's a very large trader. I've tried trading with him before on a few occasions for little stuff. He's usually dealing in like, I have 6 Nidhoggers and I have 4 Dreads, and it's, or I have 3 Vacs, or I have 4 Super BPs, and it's like the amount of shit that he has at one time is a little bit of a head scratcher. I mean, I am not a master at industry in this game in terms of being able to just think in my head exactly how much certain stuff. I don't do indie all day, but I do have a pretty good idea or concept of the amount of time it takes to gather X, Y, and Z materials, debris, whatever, or even just be able to market buy them and what those costs would look like. I do have a good knowledge of that in my head, and the amount of stuff that he would have all at once is not something that you see a normal player have, and that's not even those amounts were kind of like on par with like alliance level type of stuff, but it's one guy, and I know he's not a leader in that particular organization in TSC, but just a trading guy. So, and even some of them are kind of like scratching their heads, where's he getting all this shit? So, but I didn't see any more news from the initial leak.
It's no surprise that he holds a majority of TSC's quote-unquote super count. So yeah, it's funny is the stuff that I've bought from him has come from the other side of New Eden, so Vale Geminate area, which I kind of find intriguing, just a little bit. So I'm not going to say that he's doing anything bad, but he's got some contacts that he's doing business with. Yeah,
I mean, intel is everything in this game, whether it be on the market side or it be on the PvP side. Intel is everything. Who you know, who you talk to, you win the game in the DMs as much as you do on grid, if not more. In fact, probably more. We've had that conversation before. I remember having that conversation way back with Space Karen when he was on.
It's not about who you know, it's who you blow, right?
Jesus Christ. You set yourself up for that one. Oh my God. Some days I
just have to laugh. I'm sorry, I just have to laugh.
Oh my God.
Can't take him anywhere.
We can't take him anywhere, Nessival.
There goes the neighborhood.
We can't take Rambo anywhere.
Yeah.
I mean,
what are you saying, Rambo? Who are you blowing? Wait a minute. Whoa.
Things that make you go, Whoa.
We do that a lot here on Echoes of New Eden. Things that make you go. Yeah.
No.
Nowhere else do you get this. So.
Jeez.
Nowhere else.
Nowhere else. Oh my
yeah, it was
goodness.
funny watching Damon's latest video. It's all stuff that we've talked about previously on the podcast in later episodes. So
you know what's funny about that? There used to be a time where before we did our show, I would watch his content to make sure I wasn't missing anything for that week's show. Now it's the exact opposite. It's he's listening to us and then 3 months later releasing what he just listened to.
Right, you did your homework, and that involved just watching Damon Zell's video.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
As to what's all going on, because I mean, basically, we have the same sources. So,
yeah.
All right. So we're just about an hour in. How about consider your suggestion? We haven't done this in a while. Forgot about this. We also we didn't do name and shame last week or the last episode.
Yep.
How about name and shame me? Call me a snowflake because I don't have a level 30 implant. Go ahead, just do it.
You're a snowflake and you have that role.
But level 30 mining doesn't count. Why not?
No, it doesn't count because we're a PvP organization.
Dude, it has a freaking cargo hold.
It doesn't do
bonus.
anything when it explodes. It doesn't do any. That doesn't count as PvP.
It makes.
You muted. I can't hear you. You're muted. I can't hear you. Rambo, you're muted. I can't hear you. Totally lost your audio, Rambo. Can nobody hear me? He's still talking, and he's not even realizing he can't, like... It's still disconnected. Look at the video. Look at the... Oh, my gosh. Yeah, I was going to say, I'm still here. Nothing's happened on my end. Dog pulled cord. You can hear it in the background there. Maybe reboot your shit, Rambo. I mean, we're going to have to clip part of this. We're going to put this up live. It's just going to be a whole big thing. 54 minutes to like however long this goes. There'll be no Rambo audio. I'll just make a note for that in the timestamps. That'll be funny. No audio Rambo. And then we'll see when he comes back. Exactly. His R ran out. You're done. You can't... nothing happens anymore. He's got the name and shame segment. We're going to do consider your suggestion until he comes back, because I think we have a very big section on the consider your suggestion of stuff that he put up. At least I'm trying to look for it now. Oh, no. I remember where I was going to get it from myself, was the one that Bradrick put up. Bradrick put up a whole bunch of stuff that he was going to bitch, but then he said, I kind of agree with it. So let's start with the first one from, and this is over on Reddit. Bradrick, I know you're here. Go ahead and put your link up if you want to while I read some of these and we wait for Rambo to come back. This is from Born Fishborn. With the recent DPS inflation, please increase all hit points on all ships. Otherwise, all fit options will be limited. Also, please increase the hit point increase for shield extenders and armor plates accordingly. We have talked about this kind of thing before on the show, where everything is leading towards offense, and there's just almost no way to have a decent defense. So it's pretty telling that there needs to be some defensive buffs, at least some different strategies. I do like the you're funny. I do like the new generators, the shield generators, and the armor titanium plates, I believe is what they're called. Someone correct me on that if I'm not wrong. But they did say new implants are coming. I don't recall if they necessarily said they were purely defensive, but maybe you're right, Cool Runner. I think actually that rings a bell. But I do know that there are new implants coming, and I do know that they were going to make some defensive buffs of some kind, but it's yet to be seen if it's going to be enough. I know that they have publicly stated, even in some of the conversations I've had with Cloud, even like a year and a half ago when we did the Skype call, they stated that when players are given the option, they always choose offense over defense. So in some ways, we have only ourselves to blame for the way it is, right? They're kind of giving us... they do cost a lot, but that's just because where they come from, Bradrick, but I think they're fantastic. All right, next one from Rebel, R3BE1. Read that, Rebel. Large shield extenders and 1600 millimeter armor plates feel like they are almost nothing for most battleships these days. I propose giving all battleships a bonus of 100% shield extender and armor plate bonus, with the battleships that currently have a bonus to extenders having it increased further. So that's a second well-known PvPer, I would say, who's also talking about the defensive side of things needing to be increased. So, yeah. Yegs, another well-known PvPer, says, also allow us to turn indie core... Oh, my God, this is a PvPer who's talking about indie. Holy shit. Yegs, your embarrassment to Nelf. Allow us to turn indie cores golden, even if it doesn't add an AI mining feature. Many of the cores would improve by just being able to select a secondary primary stat. Look, I agree. The cores on the... I'm hearing an echo back from you now, Rambo, on in my headphones from you. Just
That's
FYI.
because my headset's too loud.
Gotcha.
But thanks for getting me so mad. I pulled the damn plug out of my microphone as, as I was talking into it. Then my computer decided it wanted to take its sweet ass time to reboot. So, okay.
Guys were looking to make sure that you didn't have like weather turning all your shit off again. When it rains,
this time. That was
it doesn't work for Rambo.
100% me. Yeah.
We're doing Consider Your Suggestion right now, and we're doing it based off of a Reddit post that Bradrick put up with a whole bunch of them that are pretty good. So we were highlighting Bradrick, and we were highlighting his stuff, and now I got to go back and remember when I started talking. I don't know when. I'm just going to say like...
Can Bradrick talk? He could just come on the show.
He can, but I'm reading him, but I mean, he can if he wants to.
Okay.
So Yegs, the last one I just read was about the indie cores going gold. And fine. I mean, everything else has these gold attributes. Even if it's not AI, they're getting these attributes for running secondary primaries, all that kind of stuff. So I think that's a good idea. That's fine.
Which one are you on?
Next one is Victor 84K.
Okay.
And it says, greetings, please add a gold nanocore for... Oh, my God, we got two guys saying industrial. Yep, okay, we've already went over that. We get it. They're getting a lot of upvotes. I mean, 26 on Yegs and 30 on Victor. Not too bad. So, 2 people wanting that, 2 people wanting defense. And then we have Gary from Big saying, gold core repackaging needs to happen. There are better ways to make revenue than forcing your player base to choose between AI expansion or several years of nano resources. Make it cost R or compress nanites or something if you want revenue out of the decision. I don't like to see my money sitting in a hangar useless unless I want to fly the same ship year after year. Yeah, sure. Repackage your gold cores. That's fine. Or ungold them or whatever. I've always said that I'm big on and I got 25 upvotes, so I think most people are, and only 1 downvote, so most people have agreed with them. I think that I've always taken the stance that everything in this game should be tradable, everything in this game should be reprocessable into something. And so, yeah, I would be fine with gold cores being able to be repackaged, split back apart at a loss. But sure, maybe it costs something, obviously, to do it, or there's a major loss to do it, but at least it doesn't mean that there's a gold core sitting there with absolutely nothing that you can do with it, which I have 2 on one account that I can't do jack shit with until I reskill back into those ships someday. And I'm sure I will, but everything right now is focused on a specific ship. So, well, things would be processed down to their base elements, Mike. That's the point. Not that you would reprocess titanium. Or turn it back into the ore it came from. I mean, smart ass. There's one in every chat. Unfortunately for me, they're all in my corp. Let's see. Life at 28 millimeters. I guess this guy's a photographer. I don't know. Currently using mining drones activates combat music. It should be changed to be more in line with other mining types. Does it really? What the fuck? That's stupid. That's stupid. Huh. I don't have music on in this game. Do you, Rambo?
No.
Yeah, so I wouldn't even know. So, yeah, that needs to be changed. You're not going into combat by mining. What you should do is put on the elevator music and put your ass to sleep. Monkey 4 says, new industrial hauler specifically for planetary resources. Yes, thank you. Give us a version of the Nearest or the Badger that has a low-tech and a high-tech 10 level that has its special cargo hold as PI. That would be fantastic. I would love that. And how about we have the ability to compress or just let us compress the PI. That would be great. That would be great. I would take that. 37 upvotes, 4 downvotes. I don't know who the downvotes are. Those are people who don't understand the game. Harry 2020, a no ship from box, please. You are destroying the game. Yeah, and 51 upvotes and 3 downvotes. And yeah, at this point, I just kind of given up on the box thing. It is what it is. If they do it for a ship once, like they did with this Lucent Moon, and they never put them out in boxes again, that's fine. That's perfectly fine. I don't have a problem with that. Do you see a problem? I don't see a problem with that, Rambo.
Nah.
Yeah. One time. I think if they did it with Titans, they're
Yeah,
just
they did
asking
one
for
time.
people to just want to fucking kill them. But
Or supers. When supers come
supers.
out, we're gonna have like a super freaking outbreak. It's
yeah,
gonna
if they
be
come out in
so
a box,
bad.
it'll be bad. Yeah. We got a few more. Let's see. What's the one you posted?
I post some in the on-air chat. One was from Harry Waifu.
Yeah,
she
I read that
says,
one.
No ship from box.
Yep.
You're destroying a game.
Yep.
Here's another one from Asakura.
Let's wait on that one because that gets into the Discord talk.
Okay.
And I think this is the last or second to the last one. Now, someone complaining about our artillery 45. I mean, get good. And then Twervix, I can't even pronounce this guy's name. Twyzerx. That the insurance, Twizzrix, yeah. That the insurance, instead of delivering complete ships, deliver a percentage of ISK of the cost of the ship to support the game industry. Since lately they have only been ruining it, in addition to selling new ships through real ISK. We've talked about that before. We've talked about that at length in terms of, they should just change it from where you get all your stuff back to where you're getting, ISK back. But I think there's an issue there. I think they'd probably do that in an issue. Well, we already have inflation issues as it is with the cost of everything going up a lot. So I don't know. I don't know if that's really viable right now. Really? I think the way they've done the insurance where it costs more the more you use it in the same month kind of thing was definitely a step in the right direction. I don't know if it's really impacted much yet, but it was a step in the right direction. So, yeah. All right, there's a few more, but those are the main highlights I wanted to go over with the consider your suggestion. We can go to...
Very nice, very nice. Yeah. I'm just taking a look at the Reddit here because I don't go on here very often. Nice to see what kind of stuff people are posting on here. He's making fun of the Lucent Moon loss. Yeah. Madge. The new splash screen for the game looks pretty cool. A lot of people talking about that when that got updated.
Yep.
I
It's our
think it
new
looks
background.
cool minus the Lucent Moon being there. If that ship wasn't there, I think it'd look pretty legit.
Yeah, it's okay even with the ship. I think people give that look of that ship a lot of shit, and I don't know. I think it's cool. I also thought it was hilarious that people were like, "That's the design they're going with" once it was released, and I'm like, "Were you not looking at it the last month during the event?" Like that's
Right.
That's what it is. Yeah, I've got that set as our new background for the stream and for the YouTube later.
Very nice.
Yeah. And it's the
So let's
file
talk
that
about
Mike got me.
these Discords that have been promoted and kind of getting tossed around in the last couple weeks. Yeah, I know you had named a bunch of them off the top of your head. One is the whole Jita chat, or just called Jita. It's for trading. I was going to say training, but it's for trading. And so I've been seeing this all over the place. These guys that have been pushing the promotions for it. It does appear to be Russian and English.
Yep.
And I haven't used it yet for trading or even inquiring on things, but I see a lot of stuff on sale, a lot of people wanting to buy, wanting to sell. Everything's going through here. Sciences, lifts, gold implants.
And
I haven't used this. I'm on the Discord, but I haven't used it yet.
I'm on the Discord as well, but I haven't used it either. And then there's actually an in-game channel, called Jita, for people to be able to look at as well. I'm going to go pull it up right now and see if there's even anything in-game going on in it. I think it's an interesting idea to be able to get that kind of thing that you would get in local in Jita, but then not have to actually be there. So I'm going to go try to find it right now. Jita. I've never joined it yet, so I'm doing it for the first time. No password. There I am. There's 81 people in it, and they're from all over the place. Some blue, some not blue. MEOW's there. Void's there. More guys from Void. ACAB, don't know who the hell that is. Some dude from Ari. AOA. So that's an interesting chat to have with everybody from the game like that. But only 82. So a trading channel is only as good as the number of people using it, whether it's a Discord or an in-game channel or whatever. I see culprits there. So, yeah, I mean, the more people that get into that in-game channel in-game, the more you can do your trades that way. And I think that's really an important thing. The reason this has all started up, I believe, in the last few weeks, whether it's the Jita Discord and now the in-game. Yeah, exactly. I'm watching you. I am
RIP
live streaming this channel now. I'm not, but I mean, anybody that's in there is going to be like, what? Anyway, so
and which channel was it?
The Jita channel.
English chat.
Yeah, no, in game.
Oh, in
Jita,
game.
in game
Okay.
Jita, Jita, in game Jita.
Is that how you spell it?
Just like Jita, yes, Jita.
Okay.
Did I what? Did I say something other than Jita?
No.
Okay.
I'm just poking fun.
Okay,
Just
okay.
poking fun.
I don't know. That's exactly right. He's got me second guessing myself, and he's the one who can't spell. But no, I think the rise of all these different Discords and everything is really in part because the main Eve Echoes Discord, the official one, the one that shall not be named, is a fucking joke at this point. Like, they don't know what they're doing. They've screwed it up so bad. Nobody wants to go there and do anything anymore. The mods are just...
Yeah.
Now, with that said, the reason that Discord feels dead is because the moderators have, like, shut the fuck up. Like, they had to have had a talking to. They don't say anything in CC chat anymore. They're not that active on the main chat like they were. I mean, and that makes the Discord in some ways, shape, or form feel dead, which tells you how many people were interacting there to begin with, if it was mostly just the damn moderators. But because of that and all the Randall scandal and everything else that's happened, our unofficial Discord that we've made really pushed a lot of other people into doing the same kind of thing and wanting to get a market going again. And I think that's healthy for the game. I think that's a great thing for the game. I think this channel in-game is fantastic. I don't know why I didn't think of this Jita channel before. My armory would benefit greatly by selling stuff right there, and then you could actually like have it in different areas. Jita itself in-game should not be the only trade hub. It's ridiculous. It should not be the only trade hub. There should be other trade hubs outside. I think that's something that NetEase really needs to reconsider. And that is when you're looking at the market and you're looking what's there to buy and what's there to what you can sell in the market, you see the entire game, all regions. And it shouldn't be that way. When you're looking at the market, you should only see your local region. And you should have to fly to a different region to see that local region on that market. That creates deliveries, which is a dead thing in this game. Really, it is. Some guys that are doing deliveries are going to DM me now and be like, but I do it and I make 20 million in 3 hours without being logged in. Well, that's a joke, okay? That's a joke. And the deliveries are a joke. The deliveries don't really go anywhere other than ITCs. Cool. The ITCs should be freaking trade hubs, and those are your regions. And so maybe this will have in some way, shape, or form an impact around that. Unless a lot of people are using it, I don't know. I don't know that that'll happen. So I'm very happy to promote it. I meant to get into that trade channel before today and really kind of play with it, but I'm glad I'm into it in game now. It's kind of cool. And that's also a great way for everybody in this game to have a channel to talk with everybody in this game. I think that'll be very interesting as well, outside of help chat, which is a cesspool.
Yeah, people still use that. I'm surprised.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
People are just dumb. Yeah, I've been posting screenshots of JF saying stuff in in general chat. I'm just scrolling up. You know, what's funny is I actually went to this Discord the other day, and they still have the Omega, Delta, Beta, Alpha clone roles, but it seemingly they don't really have a purpose. But at the same time, I did notice that they have a channel specifically for Discord screenshots. That they're, and I knew it. It's so bad how I already knew this. It's like I knew that they were doing that type of stuff before I was shown that. And then I was shown that, and it proved that yes, they take screenshots, whether it's inside the Discord or outside the Discord, and they will use that stuff against you. And yeah, it's no wonder nobody wants to go over there. But anyway,
it is what it is.
I just go over there for the news.
Yeah, the patch notes, different things that they're doing.
All the stuff that they don't post anyway. It's like they don't have any announcements. They do patch notes, which we see not only in game, and we have it scraped, so we see it on other Discords anyway.
Yeah.
If you want to complain about the manager, please contact the manager. Guess what? Manager don't reply to anything. The manager's gone. So who do you talk to?
Yeah, I haven't gotten a response from Cartley, Cal, and whatever the third one, the three community managers supposedly. I haven't gotten a response out of them in months and months and months. I want to say like December or January.
Yeah, interesting.
Over anything. Period. So that's just that's just dead.
Yeah, everything is like shut down. It's weird.
Well, I mean, obviously they've done that intentionally. So I don't know why. I don't know if it was because of the Randall scandal stuff and the banning and all of that. I don't, because it all happened at that time. So
they're banning like 20 plus characters a day.
You're not even officially over there. And neither's Damon. You guys are both still not allowed on that server.
I know. I'm on here illegally. I'm on here illegally.
Well, you're on Discord with an alt Discord, sure, but I mean that's easy enough to do because
they haven't found me yet.
Right, which is funny, but yeah, I mean I don't get it. I don't. I'll blow that up. Well, that's tiny, so that doesn't help. Me and the hood chatting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, me and the old chat waiting for the boys to answer. They're all banned.
Yep.
They're all banned. You have to resort to other Discords.
It kind of feels like they've shut down the entire content creator program from the standpoint of interaction with them. It kind of feels like they've shut it down. Because there's no interaction with them.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, I'm not banned. Oh, just wait, Bradrick. I want to tag you right now. You're going to get banned. So, okay.
Yeah, someone's selling a fully fit Barghest for $15 bill in Jita channel.
Did you maybe want to discuss some of the super losses today? I know one in particular, this player had contacted us and told us the story on the side of the loss, not necessarily the kill, but on the loss being on that side of it. He was unable to activate his level 45 implant, where he's got a screenshot of the error message saying unable to activate implant. So
was it the Bombard? You said Bombard?
No, this is Aerospace Tactics.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh wait, no. This is Bombard. Wait. The screenshot so I'm looking at the implants, level 45.
What implant?
Pretty sure that's. Go to the staff chat.
Yeah, I'm going.
Pretty sure it's Aerospace, but when you look at the other screenshot with all the ships, it says unable to activate advanced bombard tactics. So
that looks like Bombard to me.
So Aerospace and Bombard have the same little drone icon looking thing?
I'm gonna double check that. I don't think so. I switch back and forth between them. I should fucking know, but well, yeah, Barrick, I know, but I mean, like in the actual, like when you're looking at all their, the little inside the implant itself, when you're looking at the slots where you put in GUs and all that, what's the difference between the two? They use the same ship. Aerospace has the yeah, no, that's what I thought. It's Bombard. That screenshot is Bombard. Yep.
The level 45.
But he's got it, the way he's got it set is he's got it set wrong. He's got it set to where the Bombard is the effect while it's out in space. So if he's trying to activate it while they're already out in space, and think he's going to get an added DPS when he does that, he's got his implant set wrong. So
the drones themselves, or the fighters in this case, they are out in space, and so the only time you can activate it is when they're
the extra DPS. The way he has it set is they get the DPS buff without having to be pulled back in and put back out, but it's not as big of a DPS buff. That's a smaller amount of a buff. You get the big buff on Bombard, especially if you're running 45. You should fucking know that you don't have it set that way. You have it set where they come back in and go back out.
So I guess that resulted in a loss of an Aeon today.
Didn't have it set right.
Yeah. Rip.
So.
And here I was going to provide a disclaimer as to people watch out. Or maybe educate yourselves on the implants as to how they're activated.
Carriers do need to watch for a glitch that has been happening more than just to me. I've heard about it 2 other times from 2 other pilots now, and it is a very minor glitch. And if when it happens to you, you think, "Oh shit, I'm screwed." But it's a very easy thing to fix, and that is somehow it gets screwed up to where when you're trying to swap out fighters into a tube, it puts one in and won't let you put any more in. And then when you put a completely different type of fighter into that one, it fills it up. And then when you go to take that one other fighter into a different tube, it does it again. So it doesn't matter which tube, it doesn't matter which fighter, just every once in a while, it's letting you load one and not the rest, even though they're all the same exact type of fighter. And it can do that in any tube at any time. It's only going to do it in one tube, but it's at any time, any one of those tubes up and down your fitting, when you're in space, it's going to do that and fuck you up, and you're going to be like, "Holy shit, I can't load 6 freaking fighters, or 12 fighters, or whatever, 15, whatever it is you're flying, whatever type of fighter you're trying to load." And there's a very easy fix for that, and it's called jumping a gate. As soon as you jump a gate or take a cyno, it's fine again. So just be mindful of that.
And do you ever get it too when you're switching fits in the fitting screen and you use one of your saved fits? This applies to ships using fighters. It only loads one of the fighter. So if you're not paying attention and you undock, you only have one fighter in each tube. It happens to me. I don't know if it happens to everybody, but it happens to me. So then every time I change the fit from one of my preset saved fits, then I have to make sure that all my tubes are filled up with all the fighters. That kind of gets annoying, when you're changing the fits.
I don't use the saved fittings, and I've never. I think maybe I've saved a fitting one time. I don't use that whole setup.
No, you just have the appropriate amount of supers versus fittings. That's it. You don't have to save fittings because you have another ship with the fittings attached to it.
Yeah, I mean, I just have multiple ships with multiple setups. I mean, it's just, yeah.
And here's another bug that you don't really see people talking about too much is the gates, how they break.
Being stuck?
You see that. You have to see it a lot. It's the gate claims that it's not fueled when it actually is. And the whole thing about
thing. Oh God.
Yeah, that whole glitch that's going on right now. The jump gates.
Yeah, it's. I don't know what the deal is there, but again, This is another thing that started once they went to this every 2-week cadence on actual maintenance and server reset, where it'll just and we've had days in silent where for 30 minutes every like third ANSI gate suddenly has no fuel and the Citadel's in low power and low power, all of them, like all at once. It's
Great.
like, what in the effing hell? And then all of a sudden it's resolved and
Yeah,
it's
I don't
fixed. I don't get it.
Well, the whole thing about that is if you get that notification saying that your gate is out of fuel, basically you have to have somebody turn it off and turn it back on.
Yeah.
So that's what fixes it. And no fuel needs to be added or anything. You just turn it off, turn it back on. And
Yeah.
It works. So. All right. That's all I got. Don't have too much else. I mean, we could have touched. Dang it! No, I restarted my computer, so my notes went out. But I know there's like this whole armor fleet meta thing that's been going around too. People been doing. It seems like people are underestimating the power of armor right now, and I think we're seeing a lot of super kill mills. A lot of capital kill mills in general, but super kill mills coming out of these armor fleets, which has been pretty crazy.
Yeah, you can go and look at a lot of the super kills here recently and capital kills in general recently and see that the composition of what's doing the killing has changed drastically in the last 2 months. I want to say really changed quite a bit in the last 2 months.
And it's not
Interesting to see.
even really super versus super. It's like battleship fleets versus super.
I remember having an argument with somebody who's a dipshit. His name's Vetemune.
I already know. Yeah, I knew who you were
Saying
talking
you
about.
can't kill a super with anything but another super. And I remember telling him, oh, yes, you can. And how long ago was that? We're talking like 4 freaking months ago, maybe 5. I don't know. This could have been like a long time ago.
I was still in CC chat.
Yeah.
Still in CC chat, so it was prior to
It's January.
February.
Yeah.
Yeah, it had to have been like December, January.
So, and he kept arguing with me about it. I'm like, dude, yes, you can. Like, and I'm not going to sit here and say that I foresaw these types of setups coming, but it's not like we don't have conversations about. Anyway, that's OPSEC. But I mean, unless you're an idiot and you're an FC, then you are thinking about your compositions, your enemy's compositions, and how to counter those compositions. And you're looking at your compositions and you're trying to figure out how to counter your own compositions. You're coming up with new doctrine of fleets, setups, and everything else, and always trying to figure out, okay, if this is what I'm going to field, how would I counter that? And if you're not doing that, then you're playing Mario Kart. You're a casual player. Even if you're an FC or an alliance leader. If you're not doing that, then you're a casual. And you're not hardcore. And I'm not going to sit here and say I'm like the most hardcore guy, because I'm not. But I'm in the game every day. I'm doing something with the game every day. I'm thinking about the game way too much probably. My wife hears me say this, she's gonna just go, what? But at any rate,
Get your wife to play. That's the
she
remedy.
She won't. No, that's not gonna happen.
Mm-hmm,
So
mm-hmm.
no.
That's what my wife said. Yeah.
Well, I'll have to fly her out to Phoenix, and the two of us will have to drive up and see you guys. And then maybe when she meets Allie, then she'll change her mind. We'll
Sure.
see.
Hey, we'll be in Phoenix early next month. So there you go. Make it a date.
Don't know if I can do that. Early next month is like two or 3 weeks. Yeah, I've got a plan way out ahead for that.
It's gonna be, let's see, probably the second weekend in June. We're gonna be out of town, down there.
That sounds like when I'm going to be in Dallas, but I'll have to double check.
Yeah.
Exactly, Nessiful. I think
right.
that'd be a horrible idea.
Yeah, mine constantly puts me on blast. Is she here right now?
I don't know if she's here.
Probably ears are ringing. Probably.
Mhm.
Yeah, she'll be in here soon. Just wait. Somebody pinging her probably. Get her here talking shit. No, I don't see her. Okay, we're good. Let's close the show out so she doesn't join. All right. Oh, where's my sound here? We'll close it out there. The outro is started. So aside from my technical difficulties earlier today, I want to wish, I already just screwed it all up. I can't believe it. I got Taylor do the outro.
Isn't he gonna talk over me?
Yeah, I will.
I don't need to do. You just play the thing and we're good.
Hold on. Let's restart it. Here.
We've never done this,
All
ladies
right.
and gentlemen.
I'm going to restart the outro. I want to thank everybody for joining the show live and being with us here today, even after I had my technical difficulties and I seemingly can't operate the dang software. So thank you, everybody. Thanks, Taylor. We'll see you next week.
Thank you all for listening to this week's episode of Echoes of New Eden podcast. Please take a moment to follow us on Apple and Spotify, or subscribe to our YouTube or our Twitch channel for all the content that we release. I'd like to take this time to give a shout out to the E1 sponsored content creators. If you haven't checked out these content creators, please support them as well. Damon Cell from Echoes of Last Year, Mario from Echoes.mobi, Jubilaus PvP videos, Hell, your latest Benzie wannabe, and Eclipse PvP. We will see you next week for all the latest Indie of Echoes news. Join us live on Discord or listen on one of our platforms. To all our listeners out there, fly safe, get good, and 07.
Okay. Done.